Welcome to Born of Love, episode number 3. I'm Alexander. Sex trafficking is a worldwide crisis, and Bismarck, North Dakota is home to packs of predators preying upon the most vulnerable girls. If you're a Native American girl, you're the number one target because you've been through hell already. By the time you're in your late teens, early 20s, you're used to being treated as if you're nothing at all. And these men, and even women, exploit your wounds and your pain. Drugs and alcohol were your escape, but now addiction has become your prison, and they use that against you to take advantage of you and to use your body for something it was never meant for. You tried to find love, someone who would care, someone who would listen, but instead, you found another abuser, just like back home on the reservation. This must be normal. This must be life. This must be everyone's reality. I want you to know it's not normal, and that you are worth everything, and that no man or woman should be touching you like that. No one should be hitting you or raping you or making you feel like you don't matter. You are important. You've survived the unsurvivable, and now you're gonna heal. Have hope.
I grew up on the Standing Rock Indian Reservation. I was abused from an early age, going up until I'm 33 now, and it's happened recently within the last year. My mom was an alcoholic. My dad left when I was 7. He went to work one day and never came back, and it really messed my mom up. And my mom always had a lot of guy friends, and she would drink to the point where you couldn't wake her up once she passed out. And a lot of her guy friends would intentionally get her that drunk to do whatever they wanted to abuse me and my brothers. That started at the age of 7. There was a lot of it with her alcoholic friends, one of her boyfriends, up until she passed away when I was 16. Her boyfriend beat her to death. So I was released early from a program I was supposed to stay in until I was 18, but they felt sympathetic, so they released me after my mom's death. I came home, and I didn't really like staying at my grandma's with my brothers, so I stayed with an aunt and my 2 cousins, her daughters. I was 17, and she started getting us high. She's the first one who introduced all 3 of us to IV drug use. And then it quickly escalated to her trading us for drugs.
One of your aunts?
My mom's sister. Her and her boyfriend. And she did meth, so she would trade me and her 2 daughters off because they were around the same age as I was. Her one daughter was older, I was the middle one, and then there was one younger than me. So there was 2 17-year-olds and a 16-year-old. It was either cash or meth she would trade us for. And I didn't tell my grandma because my grandma already had enough going on, and I was scared because the one time I didn't want to do it, my aunt's boyfriend held me down and cut my face with a box cutter. And they told me that my grandma wouldn't believe me and that if I tried to tell her, that they were going to hurt me a whole lot worse than that. So not having my mom, and being scared shitless because I've never had anyone do that to me at that point in my life, I just went along with it up until I was 18. And then I met a guy. He wasn't a very nice guy, but he was very possessive, so if I wasn't with him, he'd come to my aunt's house and like raise hell until he was able to take me back to his family's house. And he used to beat me up really bad, a lot. But it got me away from what my aunt was doing to me and my cousins. And in that time period, to deal with what was going on, what my aunt was making us do, my sister was grieving the loss of our mom, and she was really bad into doing, like, shooting up morphine and Dilaudid. And since my aunt had already introduced us to shooting up drugs, I got really bad into it. And this guy was doing them too. And then I found out I was pregnant when I was 19, so I left the reservation. I went to a shelter. I had my son. And then I met my kid's dad, and we were together for about 8 years. Everything was fine. He was abusive too, and he had his quirks where he, like, pressured me into, when we lived out of state, he would go on, like, what is it called, Craigslist, and he would arrange these, like, dates, or I can't remember the word he used to use, but people that would pay us to, like, do stuff with them. And just, I would go along with it to make him happy, because I thought, I just wanted to make him happy. And then, so that went on for about 4 years.
So you both were doing that?
Yeah, we were being paid. And that's, like, it was all his idea. Like, sometimes he would send me out on my own, and he would just watch, and it was just really humiliating. But he'd always say, like, we need the money. Don't think of it like that. I thought you liked doing it, and I would just agree because he was all I knew.
Who were the types of people that were paying for that?
They were, like, older couples, like, way older. And they were, like, into some really, like, I don't know. I can't bring myself to say it, but there was like a few humiliating experiences. But he seemed like it made, in my head, you're supposed to make your significant other happy, and we had kids together, so I learned to become very compliant. And that went on for about 4 years, and then we came back to North Dakota, and it stopped. We lost a child, and he kind of fell out of love with me, and he ended up leaving me. And that was in 2020. I got back into using drugs really bad. I lost my house December of 2020, and that was my first time ever being on my own. My family had disowned me. Nobody was helping me. I had to learn how to survive on the streets by myself. And so I ended up at the Motor Motel in Bismarck. There was a program that was like buying homeless people hotel rooms, and they bought me a hotel room for like a week, and I shared it with another girl, and we met this guy. He was a native guy. I thought he was handsome. He was nice. He would like help us out, like get us high or help us out with alcohol. And we thought he was just like being nice. And then it turned into him, like the way he would word it was he had friends who just wanted company. He never mentioned anything about being paid, you know. It would happen sporadically, but the more it started happening, like all these friends they would have, and when he wouldn't want to do it, he would get really mad. And then 2 other individuals came into the picture. So there was 3 of us at first in one room. And like it was weird. It was like they watched our room because we couldn't really go anywhere without them knowing. And then one night, like individually they'd sat us down and told us like, you're gonna do this or else. Like skimming over the finer details because it's hard to process. There was a lot of like violence. Me and another girl had the word nothing carved into our leg by this guy and one of the other 2 individuals who were making us do this.
Were all of you girls, were you all Native?
Yeah, we were all Native American and we were all around the same age. One of them was actually my really close friend. She kind of taught me how to live on the streets, but this guy had her wrapped around his finger. Like, she didn't want to accept that he was basically pimping us out. Like, he's told us, you're gonna go there and do this, and they're gonna give you this much money and you're gonna bring it back.
When he first started doing that to you, were you aware that it was a sexual thing that was expected, or how did he present
I wasn't aware of it until, like, so he would say that he had a friend that just wanted some company because he was lonely. And then, like, it would happen, was happening every time. Like, sometimes the guys wouldn't even do anything. Like, they wouldn't try anything because they'd just be sitting there so quiet, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I hadn't known at the time at first that this guy had paid for whatever he paid for it. Until, like, it got to where some of these friends, like, would just get really aggressive and take what they paid for. And that's when you realize, like, what was going on.
Were these guys who were paying for sex, were they guys in Bismarck Motor Motel? Were they in the trailers surrounding it? Or who?
No, they were like random white guys. Random, never asked names. Some of them you never see again, but they were always his friends.
Would they show up at the motel, or did you get taken somewhere?
They would show up at the hotel, or they would come and pick us up and take us to their place or another hotel room. Like, in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, well, this guy helped us out. I mean, I don't know what else to do. It's like, my mind was already messed up from my kid's dad leaving me. I didn't know anyone in Bismarck. This guy was getting me high. He was giving me money if I really needed it, and he was helping us pay for our hotel rooms. And then when it was hard for him to find people, he would send us out to, like, do other stuff, like illegal activities. And there were a few times, a couple of the girls that I knew, and, like, it went on for like 7 months, or the year 2021. It started in February and it didn't stop until, I want to say, the beginning of July. It's probably not 7 months, but it felt like it's several months. And that was only because I was supposed to go meet up with a guy, and we stopped at the gas station, and I left because this lady had stopped me one day while I was supposed to go meet up with someone, and she gave me a card for that AARC. and I went to ARC. Instead of going to meet up when, like, I took off from the gas station and I went to call that shelter number because I was just tired of being manipulated and then being treated really mean when I wouldn't do, like, I'd get hit or, like, the one time I really got upset and refused to do anything and told him I'm gonna make a police report and tell him what you've been doing to us and making us do and the way you've been threatening us. And my friend was like, yeah, because she was upset. Like, we would sit there and talk about it, like, because it felt gross, it felt dirty, and there were people in the area that would talk about us like, oh yeah, those are so-and-so's girls. Like, they would just, the other females would belittle us, you know, and it was humiliating. And so we were upset.
The guy who was trafficking you,
he had friends, you know, there were other native men actually that were helping him, that he was just getting high, and like if they seen us out and about and the dude that was like had control over us or that was like manipulating us, if they seen us like in the area or whatever, or because they would pretend to be our friends and his friend, you know, and me not knowing anything, just getting out into the world on my own for the first time, like, I believe that some of them were my friends. Anyways, we always got brought back to him. Like, somehow, some way he showed up wherever we were trying to, like, lay low or hang out or just to get away from him. He always found us. Like, don't know how. He always just knew where we were because of it. But there was 4 of us. Some of them, I think, like, just went home to their reservations, because I know not all of them were, like, the girls that would come and go weren't from Standing Rock, but there was 4 of us that were there for those several months. 2 of them left with these 2 Hispanic guys, and I didn't see them again until, like, maybe 2 or 3 years later. Just ran into them one day, said hi, bye, didn't ask them what happened to them, but I know that they were going out of state. They were native.
and they were being trafficked by Hispanics.
Yeah. This guy's, I don't know, I think whatever they were, but he hung out with those 2 guys a lot. And those 2 guys helped him hold me and one of my friends down when we had our little, like, we tried to threaten him and it didn't go in our favor, and he's like, oh, you think you're better than this, you think you're he's like, he told us, like, you're nothing. He told us, I can make you disappear right now and nobody would come looking for you, you're nothing. And he carved it into my left thigh with a box cutter. And he carved it into my friend's thigh with a box cutter. While they held us down, and just like...
So in the process of, first meeting this guy, he's helping you get high and different things that you feel
he was he spent individual time with us, so until we realized like we weren't special, he was like just grouping us all together.
And so he was kind of like...
He was getting to know us, like he knew that I didn't have family, he knew that I was out there on my own.
Uh-huh.
Like, I had told him that I didn't know anyone and that I just would get buzzed up or get high and like tell him everything,
So he was getting to know you like you were friends, but then how long do you think into that was it when he started having you do prostitution type of things?
I want to say had to have been at least a month. Because at first I thought like he was trying to date me, and then my friend told me that he was being nice and spending time with her too, and I thought it was weird. And then he told us in the beginning, like he made it sound like he was genuinely concerned for us and he just wanted to look out for us, like, and he would do nice things for us, like help us pay for our room once the program stopped paying for it, or like give us drugs to sell so we could pay for our room. or like he was getting us high, or just being nice, but he had ulterior motives behind his niceness. He's in prison now, but...
Okay, so he is locked up now?
Yep.
Is it for the stuff you're talking about related to that, or...?
No, he's actually a sex offender. I don't know why he's a sex offender, but I didn't find out until he went to jail.
Okay.
For failure to register. And that's when I was staying in the shelter. One of my friends had been like, oh, so-and-so is in jail, and I was relieved, but I was still like aware that he had friends out there. The other two guys, like, I didn't know if they were coming back or if they were gonna come and take over on what he was doing or what was gonna happen. So I just stayed away from the motor for like a year after I took off from the gas station.
How many guys do you think were working with him?
So there were like, I couldn't really like give you an exact number. I just know there was, and then to find out the ones that were like, would tell him where I was, or that would tell him where one of my friends was, like, it was really surprising because we genuinely thought they were friends. So I couldn't really tell you. Like, there could have been people that we never got introduced to because he knew everybody in that area by motor. Like, he was in and out of those rooms all day selling drugs, and then, like, or if there were rooms, he would have us go to the rooms and, like, there's alcohol there, blah, blah, blah.
Was this guy also from Standing Rock?
No, he was from, I don't know what tribe it's called, but he was from a town called Dunseith.
Oh, he's from up by Turtle Mountain then.
Yep.
Do you want to say his name, or?
It just began with an M.
An N?
M?
M? Okay.
Yeah. MD.
MD.
Are his initials, MD.
Okay. So once you escaped him, you went to Abused Adult Resource
Yeah,
Center?
because I was walking one day and this lady stopped me and she gave me a bunch of cards to resources. He didn't go through our stuff or anything, but like if we weren't, like, didn't go back to the hotel for a long time, he would come and get us.
So what happened after Abused Adult Resource Center?
I ended up meeting a friend and I ended up staying with her. And then I met another friend, and it was a guy, and like, it wasn't an intimate, like, or sexual relationship. Like, he gave me a place to live for 3 years, and I didn't have to do anything. That's like what really helped me get through everything that had happened to me. I tried treatment twice. I did a lot of talking to my friend, like, talking through everything. There were a lot of, because I used to have really bad nightmares where I would wake up, or they would have to wake me up because I'd be screaming and crying. But while I was staying there, like, talking about all the stuff that happened to me with this person, I stopped having them. Like, I was able to work through a lot of things on my own. I was still using, but I didn't have to do anything. It was like a safe space to lick my wounds and recollect myself. And I feel like that person really came into my life at a crucial point where if I had kept going, I probably would have ended up back at Motor if I hadn't met this person. Like, because there were a few times, like, I went out on my own, you know, and trying to make money. Because it was the easiest way. I knew how. I had people messaging me on Facebook that would say, oh, I remember you through so-and-so, MD. Are you looking to make any money? And I would get all the money from doing it. Before, we would only get, like, we really wouldn't get any money.
What kind of impact did that have on you once you were starting to do it on your own?
It wasn't a good effect on my, like, mental state, it really made me feel like, because I would see the scar on my leg, the word nothing, like I was really nothing. Like, my family still wouldn't have anything to do with me. I wasn't allowed to talk. Couldn't talk to my kids. And these guys, were just like getting a hold of me, and like it just got to a point where it was like, fuck it, maybe this is all I'm ever gonna be. And then my friend found out I was doing it, and that's the first time I went to treatment.
That was during the 3-year period?
Yeah, I was living there, and I would run into old people that knew MD, and I needed money. I was too fucked up in the head at the time to get a job, so I would just do it. I didn't think I was going to be anything more than what I was told I was. And then having been through it as a teenager, I remember being 18 telling my sister what was going on, and she told me, you can't tell anyone, they're not going to believe you. And I asked her why she thought that way, and she said it was because they didn't believe her, but her situation wasn't the same.
And she's the one you were telling me earlier?
Yeah, she was being abused, and she got slapped across the face and told to quit lying, quit looking for attention.
And it was your grandma who did that?
Yep.
Who slapped her?
Who slapped her across the face, yeah.
And you said it was because it was your grandma's sons that were raping?
It was one son.
Oh, one of her sons.
Yep. He was molesting 3 of my cousins.
During the 3-year period of you being with this friend, you couldn't get a regular job because you were...
I was getting high, and when I would get jobs, I would show up for my first day of work, but I would get so overwhelmed by all the noise and the commotion that, I would just walk out. I couldn't handle it. I was either too high or, still, my brain was chaos from going through everything I was going through. I isolated a lot in those 3 years. I didn't like being around people.
So other than the friend that you were staying with, did you have anybody else in your life? Any other support system? Or was it pretty much just...
It was just this person. I had friends that would come, he was friends with a lot of females. I don't know if he was sleeping with them, but I know I never slept with him. He was like a big brother to me. I met him randomly because I was on a dating site. It was funny because I showed up there thinking this guy was just looking to hook up, but I was looking to get high because he got high too, And I was like, fine. And he didn't try any of that. He just sat there and colored, and we got high, and he asked me about my life, and it came out like a flood, and I told him everything I've been through and what brought me to that site and why I was doing what I was doing, and I don't know. He said he's seen a light in me.
What happened then after this 3-year period?
I went to treatment, and then after treatment I went to sober living. And then...
Did treatment and sober living help?
The last time I went, it did help. A lot. I felt like I was genuinely ready for it. I was really bad into meth, fentanyl. I was drinking alcohol on the daily. I was doing fentanyl on the daily. I was popping muscle relaxers, Xanax with my alcohol. There was so many times because they would find me unconscious, and then he told me he didn't want me smoking fentanyl in his house, so I would smoke it in his backyard, and I don't know how many times he found me in his backyard unconscious. I wasn't overdosed, I was just so messed up to the point where I just passed out, and it took a lot for him to wake me up, and it started to affect me the way it was affecting them. And so I got sober. I was sober for over 100 days. And then I came back to Bismarck. And I started using again for a little bit. And then I got my own place.
Why did you end up using again once you got back?
When I got back, I ended up getting back into meth and doing Xanax and drinking alcohol.
Was it the people you were hanging out with that sucked you into that, or was it just the addiction still? Or
it was like just the friends I was hanging out with. Like, I ended up becoming homeless again. And that was kind of a trigger.
When you got out of treatment and sober living, was there a system set up to help you get housing and things like that?
Not for a few months. I ended up leaving sober living because I had a warrant and I couldn't handle how strict it was, so I just turned myself in. And I stayed in Bismarck. And then I had sober friends I met in treatment who came and got me. Like, I can't even really put a timeline on it, but I wasn't homeless using again for very long. And then I went and got sober there with them. I went to stay with them in Dickinson. I was out there for about 4 months sober. And then I came back to Bismarck because my kids had been taken away from their dad. And that was a trigger, and I started using again. And then I did have it set up, though I got my own place, but I wasn't, like, having found out what was going on with my kids, I wasn't in the right frame of mind to, like, I didn't go work or anything. All I did was just use. Like, I wasted a really good opportunity because I couldn't process what happened to me younger was happening to my kids.
You had kids out of state, was it?
Yeah, I had 4 kids here in North Dakota, but 3 of them, we moved out of state. They had already been born, and then I had 1 out of state, but I lived out of state for a little over 2 years, like almost 3 years, and then we moved back.
And then when you got back and you ended up in Motor Motel, where were your kids at that time?
After I had lost my house, I gave them to their dad because I was so, like, I couldn't process, or I wasn't a very good mother. I knew that I was only going to affect them negatively if I kept them. So I made a really hard decision and I let their dad take them. None of my family would let me go stay with them with the kids, but that was part of their reasoning for disowning me, was because I let their dad take them. But I had nowhere to go with them. It was in winter. I lost my house. Their dad didn't want to help. Like, he literally had no choice but to take them.
When you got out of sober living and relapsed, part of it was because of what happened to the kids?
Yeah, because they had gotten taken away. But I came back as soon as I found out that they had gotten taken away. I hitchhiked from Dickinson to Bismarck.
Do you want to say anything about why they were taken away?
They were taken away from their dad because he was sexually abusing them. And his wife was physically and sexually abusing them. They were selling my son and my daughter.
This is the guy who had been,
Well, I've been with him for 8 years, and he had been, like, manipulating me into doing weird shit.
He ended up doing it to your children as well.
Yeah. Him and his wife.
You turned to drugs again to deal with that?
Yeah. Because I never wanted that to happen to them, and he was supposed to keep them safe. That's why I let him take them.
And what happened from there?
I talked to the caseworker. I have to complete a treatment program before they'll start the reunification process with me, but the state ruled that their dad isn't going to be reunited with them.
Okay, so we're up to present time now.
I kind of skipped a lot of it because it's talking about it and the memories come back so fast. It's hard to grasp some of the stuff, and I kind of don't want to grasp it because it was hard to get over.
Yeah, it's okay. I think now the question is, like, what, in your experience with everything you've been through and seeing that this is still happening to other girls.
So I've seen it happening, like, and it's crazy the way it happens nowadays, or like within the last, I want to say 2 or 3 years. Like, you be walking somewhere and guys will come up and ask you if you need a ride, or it usually starts with do you need a ride, or if it's like in the winter times, like, do you have somewhere to go? And there was a time where I like told when I had first become homeless before I met the guy at Motor, and he was doing what he was doing to me and the other girls, and me thinking this is like a genuine offer, I'm like, no, I don't have anywhere to go. He's like, well, you can sleep on my couch. Well, I thought I was okay there, and I woke up to this individual choking me, and I did what I had to do to get him off of me, and I just ran out of that apartment. I never seen him again. I don't know what happened, but...
Was that a white guy, or...?
Yeah, he had an apartment in Mandan by the Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah, he told me I could sleep on the couch. He had seen me standing out by Ministry before Ministry was even there. Like, before they had the shelter.
Uh-huh.
I was just standing out there because I didn't know what else to do. And he asked me, are you okay? Do you need somewhere to go? And so I jumped in the vehicle. And it would happen a lot where guys would, like, ask me if I need a ride, and they, like, some of them are pretty persistent. Like, there were times where I've had to scream, this guy's trying to pay me for sex, just yelling, being stupid and trying to cause attention. Like, there was one that wouldn't go away. Like, my brother has seen it happen where guys would circle the block trying to talk to me, and he would be getting mad, like, leave my sister alone, because my younger brother was homeless with me too for about a year when he was underage and I had custody of him. And we would sleep outside, like, we went everywhere together, and he would see these guys, and he took it upon himself to, like, try to get them to leave me alone, and a lot of them would just keep circling the block and trying to get my attention, and me and my brother would be really upset, or my brother would be really upset. And then, like, in recent, like, incidents, there was this one guy that used to, like, follow me around town, and it only stopped after I started throwing oranges at him and saying that he was trying to pay me for sex. And there was a bunch of people in the gas station across from where I was sitting, and he took off like a bat out of hell. I never seen him again. I was just sitting there, and he would just keep coming up and trying to talk to me and get my attention, and it was, like, getting really annoying. And just at that time, I wasn't having a good day, so I just started throwing oranges at his vehicle.
What are the demographics of the guys that are trying to have girls do sexual things?
A lot of them are, like, middle-aged, older white guys, and they look for Native American females. Like, you don't really hear a lot of these stories from, like, white girls or black girls of men trying to pick them up. Like, a lot of them are natives. A lot of them are young native girls, and I've been told I look young. Still get guys asking, do you need a ride? And it's just, no. And then I hear from other girls that I'd meet, like, around the area, and they tell me, like, yeah, this guy offered me a ride. I got in the car, and he, like, asked me if I wanted to make some money, and he, like, offered me $40 for a blowjob, and they're like, I got out of the car right away. And then some of the other girls will, like, talk down on the girls that just go willingly. Like, they will jump in a car, and they're like, oh, you know that they sell themselves, and just...
The other girls that are ending up being trafficked, are a lot of them coming from abusive backgrounds like you?
Yeah, a lot of them are from the reservation. A lot of them are used to it. And a lot of them are really young. A lot of them won't talk about it because they don't want anyone to know. It's, like, embarrassing. It's, like, there's girls that had been assaulted and they just couldn't tell anybody because they couldn't bring themselves to like admit that that had happened, like, because, you know, somebody's assaulting you, you should kick, bite, scream, do whatever you can, but sometimes if it's happened to you a lot, or if you've been in traumatic episodes, like, a person will shut down, or they're scared of who this person knows. Like, sometimes it's people that we know and we're scared of the people that they know, or we're worried that no one's gonna believe you or no one's gonna care.
So there's a combination of fear, embarrassment,
Humiliation, shame, like, or guilt. I should have tried harder to get him off of me or something. Or I have a couple of friends that have had bad things happen to them, and they just don't want anybody else to know that it's happened to them, because people twist tales, you know. They will embellish something because they don't like a person, and that really makes it hard for anyone to really say anything. Because for some girls can be mean, women can be mean. And then if guys find out that happened, they're gonna think, or they're gonna even know the person who did it and be like, "Did you really do that?" And they're gonna be like, "Nah, you know, she's lying." And then guys will, like, treat you like that's all you're good for.
So even if somebody did want to talk about it or say something, there's nobody really to tell.
Yeah, and if you go to the police, they're gonna, and it's just, I've had a lot of, in my own experience, it's just, a lot of the things that have happened to me, it's just put them, try to forget about it, pretend it didn't happen.
One thing I'm wondering about and trying to help people is how to help. Especially the girls that are younger.
A lot of them are hesitant because they think that a guy trying to be nice is just gonna want something bad. Like, my friend that I just said bye to in Bismarck, she's really hesitant to open up to, I hate to say this, but white guys. She's had bad experiences with it in the past, so, like, she's heard bad stories, so she's really standoffish.
That's totally understandable. I mean, like, talking to a lot of people, it's very clear that the main guys paying for sex are, like you said, middle-aged, older white guys, and they don't even view Native American women as human beings.
No.
As far as I can tell.
No. They'll be nice to you and then think you owe them your body, and it's like, some of these girls get tricked into that and they get scared. Like, they said I didn't know what else to do, so I just let it happen, and I'm tell them, I get it, I'm sorry that happened to you, and then promise them that I won't tell anybody else, because sometimes you just need someone to listen without judgment, like, just to get it all out and then to not have to talk about it again. The more and more you speak about it, the easier and easier it gets to talk about it.
What do you think has to be done? Because there are certain people trafficking that it seems like everybody knows they're traffickers. Roland, yeah. Josephine, this guy Brian who shows up. But
there's a guy named Josh who's a weirdo too.
A guy named Josh? Is he a white guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like, you know, every race is involved in the trafficking. Yep. Whites, blacks, natives, everybody. Hispanics, Latinos.
And the crazy thing is they single you out before you even realize what they're trying to do. And they befriend you, like, they put in serious effort to make you think that they care about you, that they're genuinely your friend, until they, like, start saying crazy things, and it's like, whoa, you're not my friend, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, the guy Brian, I saw him visiting a Native woman in the detention center, talking about sober living with her, but yet he's coming in vans picking up girls. I don't know where. Do you know Topi?
Who?
Topi.
I know her.
I don't know if you know where she ended up.
Out of state. The last time I seen her was this summer.
Yeah,
at that trailer that got taken out.
Yeah.
Didn't see her again.
Yep. Same. I saw her there, and
I haven't seen her since.
Yep. Somebody claimed she went to Canada, but who knows where Topi went? Topi's gone. Who knows where she went? And thinking about how to change this, how to bring safety to Native women, especially the younger ones who are kind of
I feel like they just need to know that there's a safe space they can go to, but that's really hard these days.
And what that safe space
because
would be.
some of those women out there, they're older women, you know, and they've probably been through a few bad things like that, but they like handle it differently, or like they process it differently, and like I don't know how to explain it, but they get close to you and then you open up to them and you tell them things and like get vulnerable, and then they use it against you to like manipulate you. Or if you do something they don't like, or speak up on something they did wrong to you, like steal from you or something, oh, they'll humiliate you in front of everybody in broad daylight with no hesitation.
Older Native women with the younger Native girls are doing that.
And like they try to be buddy-buddy with some of these fucked up individuals, and it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you want to be their friend?
You're saying they're being buddies with some of the guys trafficking?
Yeah. I think it's because they know they have money, or they have alcohol, or I don't know, something, and they know that these things are happening, and they're not saying anything, and they're like trying to discourage people from speaking up about it.
They actually make a point of discouraging people from talking?
You ain't gonna want to go and tell anybody if they like go and say, oh, you just let it happen because you liked it, and you're only saying that you didn't want it because everybody found out and now you're embarrassed, and just stuff along the lines of that. And women get jealous of other women. I've seen it happen. It's happened to me. It's happened to a couple of my friends.
So right now, to me, it doesn't seem like there really is a safe place to talk about it.
Because you put your trust out there, and then it gets broken. They break your trust, and you just don't want to trust anyone anymore. Even if there's someone out there genuinely wanting to help, they're not going to take that chance sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Thinking about everything that's happened to you, because a lot of the girls are coming off the reservations where they've already been sexually abused.
Yeah.
Once you were off the reservation, was there anything that could have been done at any point to help you so that you wouldn't have ended up being trafficked? I know it's difficult being homeless and then being in that environment of homelessness.
I think if I had more support, like not having my mom and having lost her so young, and then like not being able to trust any of the women in my family, like you kind of don't realize it, but like the knight in shining armor comes, and then you realize years down the road that they weren't really a knight in shining armor. They were just person's tolerable, like you could just put up with it. It's better than having to go through what you went through on the res, or like with my kid's dad. I thought I was in love, but he was not who I thought he was when I first met him. He was abused a lot when he was young. That doesn't excuse his behavior, but it was better than being alone.
When you were on the reservation, then coming off of it, what were your hopes for coming to the city? Did you think things would be better?
Yeah.
Were things any better?
It was a lot easier to survive. like, because there's not really anything on the reservation. There's a lot more resources living in Bismarck. I refuse to go back there. I haven't gone back there in years. Rather sleep outside on the street than to go back there. Everybody that I was close to all passed away. The family that's alive don't want anything to do with me, and that's okay. I mean, I've been out here since I was 19, and then again when I was 27, and I've been just fine without any of my family to really help me. You come across individuals who are really nice and genuinely care. Being homeless, like, people who have been in your shoes know what it's like to not have anyone, and they just want to be there for people who don't have anyone. Like, I'm nice to people all the time because I know what it's like to have no one to be.
The guy MD, was he homeless too, or did he have a place to live?
He was living at the motor. He had just gotten out of prison. So he was a part of this program that paid for his room. And he started selling drugs, I guess, and started doing what he was doing.
It seems like there's a bunch of predators all over that area and a part of the homeless environment.
He was really good at convincing us that what he was doing was protecting us because somebody else could come along and do it to us anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And we would be treated a lot worse. Like, you're young, you don't know anyone, just be happy I'm looking out for you. And
what do you think the first step in helping girls in this situation? Is it to try to get them into treatment to get rid of the addictions, or?
I know what helped me, but I don't know if that'll help anyone else. It's just having someone there, that cares and wants to see you do better, and they see your potential, and they keep reminding you that you can be better, and, like, it's encouragement, it's a support system. It's just having a support system.
Mm-hmm. How are you doing now in terms of realizing your value as a human being?
I'm actually accepting that I'm a worthy human being now. Like, I have confidence. I don't deserve to be treated like that. My past is my past.
What do you think it was that made you start believing that?
The people that were coming into my life.
So good
this
people
last
started.
Year and a half. Like, my sober friends, they all really, I got really close to them the last time I went to treatment. I'm actually going to one of their weddings in January. So I have a few friends that I've met, like, they're not perfect people. But there were a few people, friends, and then people I'd come across that would, like, just be in and out of crossing paths. Like, I wouldn't hang out with them again, or I wouldn't really see them again, but they would just, like, tell me to speak up for myself, or I'd meet them in random situations, and it was always encouragement. Like, it's just, don't be afraid to speak up. Nobody's worth being treated like that, and it took me a long time to realize that I didn't deserve to be treated like that.
Whether in childhood or up to, the last time you were abused, did you ever tell anybody in terms of people you thought might be able to get you out of that situation?
If it happened, my automatic, trauma response was to just try to pretend it didn't happen. And by the time I could work it up to, tell someone, it's, I felt like it had been too long, so there was, no point in going to the police or something, But I got it off my chest finally. I had bad experiences with the cops, so anytime I was assaulted, I wouldn't try to talk to them, because when I was dealing with my kid's dad. He had taken my boys out of school against my consent, and this cop was, like, multiple times, they were really rude to me, and they judged me simply by being Native American. They're like, this isn't the reservation, you can't just cry wolf, and your kids are okay there with their dad. And then the cop, I at least can remember 2 of them, but there was one that on multiple times whenever the cops were called on a situation I was having with either my kid's dad or an aunt concerning my little brother, he would always ask to look at my arms. Or, like, tell me this isn't the reservation. Like, basically he would belittle me anytime I came across him. So, like, it really made me not want to talk to the cops. Because they would be told that I was an addict and I was freaking out because I was high on drugs, but that wasn't it. Like, with my little brother, I had custody of him. My aunt was, like, literally keeping him from coming back home, and he was, like, telling me, like, she held me up against the wall with her arm against my throat, and, like, I was, like, she told me I couldn't leave, and I was just scared. So, like, he had to run away. She got so drunk he passed out. He had to run away from her trailer because she was just keeping him there because he was getting survivor benefits and she wanted that check. And she was using all the money he was supposed to be getting on, like, drugs and alcohol. He wouldn't see a penny of it. His shoes would be all worn out and he'd have just looked like he wasn't being properly taken care of. And that was not okay, but I was using it at the time, and it was the only stable place for him to go. And then when she would stop letting me come and visit him or him come see me, that's when, like, she would call the cops. She'd be telling them that I was, like, high, freaking out, and harassing her and my brother didn't want to leave, and she would make him lie to the cops saying that he was okay and that he didn't want to go. But he told me, he's like, I always wanted to go, I was just scared of her. And the cops would be really, really rude to me. They thought I was just some strung out addict trying to cause trouble for no reason. Or mad because my brother didn't want to come with me, or mad because my kid's dad took the kids, or just...
Was your kid's dad, what race was he?
He was part white, a quarter Sioux, and then there was another, like, native in him, but I don't remember the name of it.
I was just wondering why the police would believe him more than you.
He looks like he's white.
Okay.
He has light skin, blue eyes. I don't even understand why they would believe him and she was his girlfriend at the time, but she's now his wife. But they would say we were already talked to J and K, and they would say whatever, and then they would ask to look at my arms, and I said, why do you have to look at my arms? And then they would say some rude remark about being an addict, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have to show you my arms, that has nothing to do with why you're here. And then they'd make remarks about me being native, like this isn't the reservation, you're not on the reservation anymore, you can't just act like this, and it's just stupid stuff.
There was an elderly lady telling me recently in Cannonball, because of the way the girls are treated, they end up kind of looking for affection and love, but through promiscuity, and nobody ends up loving them.
Yeah.
How do you, what do you think advice or something you'd give to these younger girls who are treated badly, who haven't been loved, and in how they view themselves, sexuality, and the worth of their bodies?
You have to love yourself first. I don't know.
It's okay, you don't need to answer because...
I just don't know how to answer it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out how to teach these kids who have been raped that they're worth way more than that.
Your body is yours, and if you have to give it away to get any kind of affection, that person doesn't care about you. You're a means to an end, and you don't deserve to be treated like that. If the person you're having intimate relations with is like, you feel less than a person after you do it, or they don't treat you the same after you give them your body, like if you feel sick to your stomach, or if you feel gross, or if it just doesn't feel right, it's not right. It shouldn't feel like that. You should never feel obligated to give your body to someone else, or to let anyone have access to you like that, because that's not the way love is supposed to work. If it feels wrong, it's probably wrong.
Any advice you have in terms of shame and guilt for being raped?
It's never your fault. Like, if somebody makes you feel bad about something you had no control over, there's something wrong with that person. Or like, they don't understand. But if somebody forces you to do something that you don't want to do, and you want to tell someone because you didn't want to do it, like, you should tell someone. Don't let somebody tell you that, oh, that wouldn't have happened to you. Like, I wouldn't have let it happen to me. Like, you shouldn't have let it happen to you. And like, don't ever let anyone make you feel bad for something you didn't want to happen happening to you. Like, it wasn't your fault. Don't let somebody make you think it was. I wish I had found my voice sooner. I wish I had found the courage to speak up more. I wish I had found the strength to, like, protect self, like, to realize I was more than what I was putting myself through, or what was going on. I wouldn't say what I was allowing to happen, but what was just happening. I mean, I guess in a way I was allowing it, because it happened so many times in my lifetime. It's like,
the thing is, when you're sexually abused as a child, that changes everything. And I think everybody who's prostituted, I think that's all rape, really.
yeah, especially if you're young, like, and it's by somebody you're supposed to be your uncle, or your dad's friend, or your mom's friend, and like, they're super nice to you when your parents are around, but they're doing these ugly things when your parents aren't, and they're telling you not to tell them, but they make you feel like you don't want to be in your own skin, like, and you're so young, and it's like, it just kind of messes you up. And then in certain situations, when you do try to tell someone, sometimes they don't believe you. Or the adult that did it will try to make it look like you're lying. Like, oh, she's just making up stories, or oh, they're just looking for attention, I didn't do that. And sometimes they get away with it because they are close to your parents, or they are a family member. And like, especially when it's family members like that, want to give that individual the benefit of the doubt, you know? And then they look at your background and where you come from, and it's just like manipulation. I don't even know how to explain it. And usually, like, girls who get trafficked or who turn to prostitution, they were abused at a very young age. And nobody listened to them or believed them.
Any final words for maybe some of the kids in Standing Rock who are going to be listening to this, and who probably are even being sexually abused by family members or whoever else now? Any
Don't
words?
be afraid to speak up.
Star, in the confusion of her trauma, chose to take out on me what other people had done to her as a child, and what she later did to herself as an adult as a result of childhood abuse. And that's why it kills me that this is happening to so many girls, most of whom don't know a healthy way of escaping the pain or healing the trauma, so they try to numb it through vices. And there can be a lot of burning anger inside that comes out in aggressive behavior and fights, and that has a lot to do with the fact that they were put in a situation in the past that leaves a person helpless, and because they couldn't fight back then, they're fighting the entire world now, including themselves. Rape is a scenario that no one is prepared for. The victim feels powerless and ends up being completely controlled and dominated by this outside, disgusting force that comes upon them and enters not just their bodies, but their souls, their minds. These things shatter, and that's why we gotta do a lot better as a society of protecting our women and children, but also helping to heal those who have been violated in the worst way possible. In cities with high native populations and on every reservation, we need to build resource centers dedicated to the healing of every Native American who has experienced sexual violence. There is a population of children that are cutting their arms and committing suicide, and it's because they're being raped by family members or friends of family or other people that should be protecting them but aren't, and nobody's sticking up for these kids, so they feel hopeless. Let's allow our precious children to speak, and when they speak, let's hear them, and after hearing them, let's help, because what happened to generations of the past and even present cannot be the Native American future. It's time to release and shed off the things that were never there to begin with. There are many incredible people who are beautiful in so many ways, but they've got desires and behaviors that are not even their own. These things were raped into them through colonialism, boarding schools, personal abusers, and even this modern American culture. The United States entertainment, marketing, and porn industries are masters of manipulating the masses through hypersexuality and propagating unhealthy carnal desires, which ultimately lead to dysfunctional relationships, unparented children, a vast spread of STDs, a population that's never been loved but only lusted for, and I have no doubt the rapes, disappearances, and murders of many women and children, an astronomical amount of whom are Native Americans who have never seen justice. Pilatanka, Andrea, thank you for being so brave and using your voice to make a difference. I truly believe it's people like Andrea who have been through the worst, even having nothing carved in her flesh. These are the ones with the power of healing in the sound of their words, because no matter what you do to a person, to make them think that they are something less, that person was made in the image of their Creator, and the Spirit knows the truth. The truth is, things have seemed hopeless for a really long time, and they probably still feel hopeless to you now, but I'm telling you there is hope, because our Creator did not make a single person for the purpose of being raped and abused and being in chains of addiction for life, never seen the light of day. These are things of the evil one, and it's time to bring that devil to his knees through Jesus' power of love and forgiveness, turning away from what is wrong to what is right. and breaking the silence with the truth, to bring justice to every tribe and every nation, to bring God's light, to open the eyes that are blind, to bring out the prisoners from the dungeon, from the prison those who sit in darkness, to never take or dishonor a Native American woman's beauty, but to uphold all that she is, a warrior stronger than any of us, one who has been through all brutality and yet survives and shines like the sun. Don't you forget who you truly are. A person worth living for and dying for and deeply loving, someone to be honored and cherished, because you're the ones the Almighty Healer chose to be healers like him. Gizagan Star.